Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Growing up, we didn't have a lot, but we had a lot of PBS. PBS was my jam. It was the household jam, it was what we watched. And once I saw an interview with Ed Murrow, the brilliant newscaster who taught everyone else newscasting. And he said, someone said, how do you tell a story? Or how do you present the news? And he said, you don't present the news, you present a story. And they said, how do you present a story? And he said, you do it as if you're talking to the professor at dinner, but the maid and her boyfriend, who's a truck driver, are listening from the kitchen. Now, that didn't make a lot of sense to me when I was younger, but it stayed with me. It was powerful. It resonated. There was something about these three different lives and occupations and existence that was saying that all of them could hear the same thing if you presented it the right way. Years later, I met Robert Townsend, the actor, comedian, director, and I asked him, how are you writing these jokes? You're telling jokes. I saw him at a club in Coronado, California, and he and I were the only two black people in the room. And he told some really progressive jokes, and everybody in the room was laughing. And I'm thinking, I don't think they're laughing for the same reason I'm laughing. I don't think we're laughing at the same stuff. So I asked him about it afterwards. And he said, oh, I write in layers. I've got 5 layers. There's a layer down here for the person who just hears the slapstick, the funny bit, the tone of my voice, if I'm doing a funny voice or whatever, they just hear that. They may just be looking at my clothes or whatever. The next layer is that person who just gets the joke because they kind of like you. They like what you're wearing. They like the way you look. They like the faces. They like that. There's something about that cues them that this should be funny. There's the next layer where the person is kind of like, oh, that's funny. I think something like that kind of happened to me. And they're taking the story and they're applying it to themselves. This next layer is the person who says, ooh, that's deep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the point where they're angry. They're seeing it the same way you do, because humor, he said, has 2 sides. One side is the tragedy. One side is the funny. He didn't say it first, but he said it to me that day. I heard you. And then the next layer is that person who feels it. They are laughing because I've delivered it in humor, but they know that they can change. They have a way out now. And I was like, oh, I knew he had given me gold. It's like, is anybody else hearing this? Now, let me tell you something that I know. If you boil down all the research in leadership, in education, in anything that's about igniting or leading or guiding somebody else, it comes down to this. There's many other things, but this is it. At the end of the day, most people want to know that they've done a good job, and they want to know how they can do it better. They want a boss, they want a teacher, they want a wife, a husband, a spouse, a partner, a friend, a parent who says, great job. And somehow in there, they give them some tools, some breadcrumbs, some ways to be better the next day. Sometimes there's no breadcrumbs because you're there. Sometimes it's just about brainstorming of where else we can go. If you look at life that way, you see it. I'll read the comments, and there's somebody who, my voices are funny. There's somebody who likes when I wear bright colors. There's somebody who gets ignited or reignited and they like, yeah, that's how I felt too. I think I left somebody out. There's somebody who feels something and they don't know what they're feeling, but they know they want to come back for more. Then there's somebody who feels the force of that memory. And there's always someone who says, thank you, I can be better. I'm learning from you, and you're learning from me. And what I'm learning is that most people want to be better, but they also want to know that they're doing a good job. Those who are fine as they are and who don't want to laugh or learn or grow or think are rare. They're not my jam. They're not my audience. They're not my PBS. My friends can ride on a 5-hour ride and listen to a book. We don't have to talk. My friends can laugh at the most obscure, obtuse thing to everybody else, but to them it's wow. It's okay whatever layer we're at. As long as we know that we've got more work to do. I've got so much more work to do on me. And every day I'm doing it. And right now I'm so blessed to have people to do it with me. We're all in this together. Be patient with people who don't see it the way you see it, because you're seeing it together. And they may not be where you are yet, but we're all beginning to see. That's my jam. I love you.